Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here with OddsJam. Let's bet some player props. Recording this early in the morning of Thursday, December 15th. We got some NBA games going on tonight, so we got some NBA player props to hammer. First up, the play I'm going to go ahead and lock in here. Of course, found using OddsJam, using the positive expected value page, which I will get into. It's Grayson Allen over 2.5 assists. So this is in the Milwaukee Bucks versus Memphis Grizzlies game. Grayson Allen, a member of the Bucks, used to be a member of the Grizzlies, now currently on the Bucks. I think he was there last year as well. And the bet is at plus 123 at Bet Rivers. So that's the bet itself. Now let's chat about the math behind it. So number one, these no vig odds are very important because it's where, now you can see it, it's where everything comes from. It's where all the profitability kind of starts from. And right now, these odds are priced just below plus 118. We can go ahead and call it plus 118. And the no vig odds, I like to call the OddsJam perfect line, can also be viewed as the true line, are pulled from the sharpest sports books in the world and with a weighted average given towards the sharper books. So OddsJam basically backtested thousands of betting opportunities, trying to determine what sportsbooks do the best job at pricing odds. And they use that data to pretty much set the markets moving forward, giving heavier weight towards the sharper books. So let's pretend that there are four, but one of them is really good, the other three aren't as good. Well, then that one is going to have heavier weight, right? Makes sense. So everything is kind of derived from this number and where the profitability comes from. So pretty much for these no vig odds, anywhere in which you can get more favorable pricing on another book is going to be profitable. So in this case, plus 118 to plus 123, about a 5-cent gap, giving you profitability, showing you that the gap between those two numbers, that's where your profitability comes from. All in all, giving you an EV, an expected value percent of about 2.34. This can also be viewed as your expected profit as well. So that's the math behind it. You can look at that pretty quickly and immediately see, oh, no vig odds. Here's my bet. Here's the percent, without really needing to do much research. So the additional work that I recommend doing to make sure that you are placing the best of the best bets it's not that difficult. You just click anywhere in which it highlights blue. When you hover over it, you can click into a play, and it pulls up where every sportsbook is pricing this market at. So where every sportsbook has Grayson Allen over and Grayson Allen under 2.5 assists. And basically the goal of what we're trying to accomplish here is figure out, is the bet that we are placing truly an outlier across all of the sports books, right? Is across of all the major sports books, is the bet that we are placing an outlier? And the answer should be yes, right? If it's showing up on the positive EV page as a positive EV play from the no vig odds, the answer to that should be yes, but it's important to do a little bit of digging just to make sure. In this case, the answer is yes. So plus 123 at Bet Rivers. We have some like FanDuel and PointsBet that are kind of halfway in between. They're not closer to the Bet Rivers line. They're not closer to the rest of the books. They're kind of halfway. And then we have the rest of the books. We have Pinnacle at plus 100. That's important. Pinnacle is the sharpest sports book in the world. We have BetOnline at plus 103. That's important. BetOnline is another sharp sports book. And then we have DraftKings at plus 100 and Caesars at minus 101. All in all, this plus 123 is a clear outlier, showing you that this is a good bet that you should actually take. So I'm going to go ahead and lock it in as my first NBA player prop for today. Grayson Allen over 2.5 assists in the Bucks versus Grizzlies game. Next up, we're looking at same market. We're looking at Jordan Clarkson over 4.5 assists. Again on Bet Rivers, plus 128 odds. The no vig line prices this at about plus 123. We can just round down the plus 123. So again, there's about a 5-cent gap between these two numbers, giving you an expected value percent of 2.1, expected profit of 2.1%. And then it's pretty much the same thing here, funny enough. Bet Rivers has it at plus 128. FanDuel and PointsBet are kind of in between the Bet Rivers line and the rest of the books. Granted, PointsBet is closer to the Bet Rivers one, not as quite in between. But then the other books, and especially the important ones, Pinnacle, plus 102, BetOnline, plus 107, DraftKings, plus 110, Caesars, plus 106. All of them have it priced pretty decently below the Bet Rivers line, showing you that this is a pretty good, again, another profitable bet to take. So this is going to be my second NBA player prop for today. And one thing that I do want to say with positive expected value betting is that an unfortunate reality of just sports betting in general is you have to accept variance. So I went to my dashboard, which just gives you my bet tracker. And this is pulled from, so every bet that I've placed using OddsJam is showing up into this data feed, right? So OddsJam actually just released some new graphs, which is really cool. The wagered over time is new, the profit over time is different, but to the right is profit, to the left is weeks that I was down. So as you can see, it's significantly more up weeks than down weeks, but we do have some weeks that were down. Some of them down a lot, like, 1,600, 1,400. Like, if I could hover over it, whatever, you get the point. Some weeks I'm down a lot. Some weeks I'm up a lot, like here, up like 2,800, up 2,700. More up than down, but you do have to accept variance when you are sports betting. It's just the nature of the game. If we go to my profit by month, so if I change this to monthly, we see, so I started using OddsJam at the beginning of football season last year, September of 21. So it's been 16 months. Only 3 months have been down using OddsJam. 13 up, 3 down. That's pretty good. Those down weeks weren't fun, especially happening back-to-back weeks in 3 of 4. Certainly weren't fun, but overall, it'll be in your favor. So you just kind of have to stick with it and understand that you're not going to win every single bet or profit every single day, week, or month, but give yourself enough sample size, give yourself time to get through the variance, and you will be profitable. So that's definitely something important to understand. And then the next play that I was going to lock in here, and this is also my last play for tonight, Dillon Brooks over 2.5 made threes, plus 120 at Bet Rivers. So this one's a little bit of a lower percent, right? Basically the difference between plus 118.76, we can round up to plus 119 as the no big odds, and plus 120 as the Bet Rivers line, giving us an EV percent of 0.57, so a little bit lower EV percent on this one, but still an outlier when you compare it to the rest of the books, right? Plus 120 at Bet Rivers. Again, FanDuel and PointsBet have it kind of in the middle, and then the rest, plus 101 at Pinnacle, plus 104 at BetOnline, plus 100 at DraftKings, minus 101 at Caesars. So all in all, still a good play, still an outlier across the majority of sportsbooks, including the important sportsbooks, the ones that give the heaviest weight into what pulls into these no big odds. So we're good to go here. Dillon Brooks over 2.5 made threes, again in the Bucks versus Grizzlies game. Dillon Brooks as a member of the Grizzlies, and that's going to be it. So those are going to be my 3 player props for today. If you're tailing any and all 3 of these, comment and let me know. Other than that, would appreciate if you could like the video, subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel, helps me out a ton, but that's it. So enjoy the games tonight. Happy betting, happy watching, and good luck.